Government paleontologists have returned from the Margaret River, bringing with them 2,000 specimens of the Pleistocene age, mostly in a fragmentary state, but including many perfect or nearly perfect bones and teeth. Evening Post Volume LXXVII, Issue 57, March 9, 1909. Pingree J. Osborne, who has been acting as guide to the expedition of the American Museum of Natural History of New York, returned today from Lower California with information of the discovery on the island of Guadalupe of several herds of sea elephants and of a variety hitherto unknown except to archaeologists. Special to the New York Times, October 21st, 1911. The last known passenger pigeon died in the Cincinnati Zoological Gardens about 5 years ago. Following the bird's death, the American Ornithologists Union offered $7,000 to anyone providing the existence of the nesting pair, but none of the original species was discovered. Passenger pigeons were once so numerous in the Mississippi Valley that their migrations darkened the sky. Berkeley Daily Gazette, April 8, 1921. A giant auk like the passenger pigeon and the dodo bird is now totally extinct. The species has been literally hunted off the face of the earth. It was a victim of its own stupidity and defenselessness. St. Petersburg Times, March 13, 1925. A much-patched million-dollar tooth once held by the American Museum of Natural History is proof that the forerunner of man lived in Nebraska has now been identified by the museum as the molar of an extinct species of wild pig. The Freelance Star, February 20th, 1928. The fossil bones were in a clay pan at a depth varying from 5 feet to 15 feet. In the search, large open trenches were dug in many directions. The results were extremely satisfying. Although no complete skeletons or skulls were unearthed, remains were found which proved the presence of the large marsupial Diprotodon, a giant lizard, and the giant kangaroo Parlochist. The Sydney Morning Herald, June 20th, 1933. Once caribou existed in Nova Scotia in large herds. The trails they followed can still be seen. Then the animals became extinct. No one knows whether they were killed off or were wiped out by some disease. H.K. Goodyear, employed by the province's Land and Forest Department to obtain the caribou, said there were plenty of them in Newfoundland. He brought the animals from the Grand Falls country, where he said he saw more than 1,800. Sometimes the caribou traveled in herds of as many 300 animals. The Montreal Gazette, April 20th, 1939. Bones of long-extinct animals were discovered. Once, explains Dr. Harry, the cave springs supplies of water were for a pool in the lower part of the cave. The pool attracted animals. Some died or were killed on the spot. Their bones became part of the cave's floor. The identification of these bones has been made by Dr. E. H. Culver of the American Museum of Natural History. They include a few existing species of animal and an extinct form of horse, bison, giant ground sloth, tapir, four-horned antelope, and the dire wolf, a much bigger animal than the wolf of today. Toronto Daily Star, June 15, 1945. The world has lost through extinction about 106 species or subspecies of animals. The highest number of animals, 11, which has become extinct, existed in the region of Australia, according to the Encyclopaedia Britannica. The Tuscaloosa News, June 9, 1968. Dr. Edmund first became interested in ecdentates, a type of mammal, when he collected fossil bones in Peru and Ecuador 20 years ago. Good descriptions of most kinds of giant ground sloths, giant armadillos, glypodonts, and similar animals were rare and often based on fragmentary specimens at the time. Daytona Beach Morning Sun Journal, December 19, 1978. 27 of the 28 mock tombstones in the project that was set up at the West Peyton Elementary School commemorate the death or threatened extinction of one of the 100 animal species, ranging from Barbary lion to the Atlas bear and the Texas red wolf. The 28th shows a picture of the Earth, and beneath it is a nuclear explosion with an inscription, "Mankind," by Tessa Melvin, published May 24, 1987. Also from Tanzania comes an unusual set of 8 stamps in the 2 silver sheets dedicated to the wildlife conservation. However, instead of featuring endangered species, the designs depict animals that have already become extinct. The 25 shilling shows that Tecopa pulpfish believed to have become extinct in the 1960s. The thylacine, or Tasmanian wolf, which became extinct in 1933, appears on a 40 shilling and 50 shilling depicts. The quagga, which became extinct in 1883, a passenger pigeon extinct since 1914, is on the 60 shilling. March Journal World, April 29, 1990. Scientists behind the project, dubbed the Frozen Ark, are keen to preserve the DNA of endangered animals so they can continue research into their evolutionary histories, even if they become extinct. More ambitiously, scientists hope one day to be able to use cells from the frozen tissue samples to recreate extinct animals using advanced cloning techniques. Ian Sample, science correspondent, The Guardian, July 27, 2004. Wolves elsewhere in the lower 48 states remain on the endangered list. Courts have overturned previous attempts to remove the wolf from the list, and future legal battles appear likely. Environmental groups immediately pledged a lawsuit over the estimated 1,500 wolves in the northern Rockies. A federal judge in Missoula, Montana, last year sided with the group after they filed a lawsuit saying the animal's long-term survival remained at risk, particularly in Wyoming. Associated Press, March 7, 2009.